This is Family Time 92. We're back to social awareness for our SEL competencies. And we're talking about validation this week. Validation can be a tricky topic. It's hard to maybe define what it is to feel validated, but it's an important thing to recognize. It's really a sense of belonging, a sense that we matter, and that is an essential part of our existence. If you look at something like Maslow's hierarchy of needs, you have those physiological needs, or the base needs: food, water, shelter, those sorts of things that keep us alive. Right above that, you have safety, also can keep us alive physically, but also mental safety, mental well-being, that we don't feel like we're going to be constantly attacked and hurt and those sorts of things. And right above that is a sense of love and belonging. And then above that is a sense of esteem. That's kind of the area we're focusing on. We all have those needs. We have the desire, the need to belong, to feel like we're accepted. And true validation, true belonging, is that we feel accepted for who we are without having to put on a mask, put up a front. And as we look through validation through the lens of social awareness, I'm going to ask a lot of questions of my students. First, I want to know, what are the things that help you feel validated? And it's important to be honest about those things. Does a compliment help us feel validated? Does someone approving of what we've done help validate us? It can, and that's okay, but I'm also going to follow up with the question of, should we seek validation from other people? That's a slippery slope, because we do have that need for a sense of belonging, but if we're only getting our personal value from others, that's dangerous, because we may not get the validation we're seeking, or the things that really help us feel validated may go away, and that can cause so many problems in our lives. When we don't feel accepted, we don't feel we can be ourselves, then we find ourselves doing things that maybe don't align with our true core values, that don't truly represent who we are and who we'd like to be, but we're seeking that sense of belonging. If we can't find a sense of validation and belonging in a positive way, we'll often seek ways to belong and be validated in a negative way. We see a lot of this validation seeking, I think, in the world today, when we see people jumping into all sorts of groups. And we can think of groups that do negative things, that maybe do hurtful things to other people, groups that just have opposing viewpoints and fight back and forth. But I think a lot of the people jump into those groups and jump into a sometime toxic form of tribalism, seeking that sense of belonging and validation. We do that. We group up with other people who maybe view things the way that we do, and we want that validation. We want that camaraderie. We want that connection. We need it. We desire it. Then we find it, and sometimes we'll close off ourselves to other viewpoints, other ideas, because we've found the things that are validating us. That gets into, which we've talked about before, those biases, those confirmation biases. We're only really looking for things that might confirm our preconceived notions, because that does give us a sense of validation. So we have to ask ourselves, how important should the validation of others be? But then we have to ask how we can help validate our own thoughts and feelings. That's important. We have to be willing to recognize that our feelings carry weight, that our thoughts carry weight, that those things are important, that we have an inherent value just as human beings, but also that we all individually bring something to the table, that we have something to offer to other people. That's how we can really validate ourselves and our own existence, and that can be a hard thing. I see students struggle with that. Say, well, I don't really know why I matter. That's actually one of the first things we talk about at the beginning of the school year is, why do you matter? Because I think it's important to start with some building of self-validation. That yes, I am good. I have things to offer. I am worthy of a sound education. I am worthy of good things in my life. That's a barrier we have to break down early. We have to be able to validate ourselves some. And although we're talking about how much we should really seek validation from other people, one of the greatest gifts we can give to others is helping them validate themselves. And we do that through being socially aware. That's what we're talking about as an SEL heading, is recognizing verbal and nonverbal cues, communication clues from other people, recognizing how they feel the best that we can. We've talked about that a lot, that one of the greatest human endeavors is empathy, trying to see things from other people's perspectives, trying to feel what others feel, although it's an impossible task. We're never able to fully empathize. So we do the best that we can, and from there we let compassion take over. We try to understand as much as we can, then we say, the rest I'm just going to let my heart go out to you, even though I don't know exactly how you're feeling. And that's a way that we can validate people, is by being compassionate. Is by saying, okay, maybe I understand some part of how you're feeling. And even if I don't have any idea and I haven't had an experience like the one you're having, I have some compassion for you. I know what it is to struggle, even if our struggles aren't the same. And I want you to know that your feelings in this way are valid. Sometimes we can validate people and even disagree with them. That's a great place to start. Anytime we have a relationship, there's going to be disagreements of some kind. And it's okay to have disagreements, and it's okay to stand up for what we believe in. Those things are important. But if we can validate the other side, that we can say, yes, those thoughts and feelings, though they may not be my own, hold water. They have some weight. That can help take us away from that toxic form of finding validation, where we're closing others off. And it can help us be secure in our own thoughts and feelings, while also letting other people feel secure in theirs. That's what we're going to talk about this week. I want you all to think about the things that help you feel validated, how you can help validate yourselves, how we can help others feel validated, feel important, how we can help them validate themselves, how we can let other people know, yes, you matter. Have a great week. Much love.